Hey y'all, I'm Danielle, owner of Naturally Created Wholesale. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button. If you are coming back for another video, please like this video. Today I'm going to share with y'all 5 different tips to start your skincare business. I got my notes right here. So let's get right into it. All right. First things first, do not rush your launch. Okay. That does not mean that you should prolong your launch for a year to 2 years or whenever you're like finally ready, right? But don't rush is what I'm saying. So don't just what I did when I'm basically giving y'all like what not to do because it's what I did and it just didn't work. Um don't just hurry up, get a website, get a product and just launch, right? You need a plan, you need a strategy in order to have a successful launch, all right? But don't rush it, okay? Don't just like get an idea and boom, like you're have a business next week. Make sure that you're taking your time and you're planning and you're doing your research and you're doing all the things that need to be done. All right, do not rush it. A typical launch for a new business, I say anywhere from like, I would say you could launch realistically like 60 to 90 days. I think 30 days is way too short, but like 60 to 90 days is a good time frame. All right, next, start with 1 to 3 products, okay? This makes it so much easier for you and so much easier for your customers because you're not like bombarding them with a lot of different things to choose from. You're not bombarding yourself with a lot of different things you have to promote. So I would just launch with like 1 to 3 products, and that one product that can have a couple of different scents to it if you're doing like body care, or for instance, if you're maybe launching like a small face care collection, maybe you have something for dry skin and oily skin. But I personally would not launch something and have like a ton of products to choose from. Launch with like 1 to 3 products so that you can commit to just focusing on marketing those things and talking about those things. All right. Also, that helps with your budget, right? Because the more products that you add to your product collection, the more money that's going to cost. All right. And the more time that's going to be because you're going to have to market those products. Okay, so only launch with like 1 to 3 products. All right, keep it simple and make sure. Oh, this is another thing. Make sure all of those things like make sense for each other. When I first launched, y'all, I was a mess, a hot mess. I launched with a body oil, a lip oil, and a lash oil. How? Why? I don't know, but don't do that. Okay, stick with y'all. It's embarrassing how wrong I did things, but that's why I'm telling y'all is best if you just launch with a few products and make sure those products are a part of the same collection. So whether it's body care, lip care, face care, feminine care, lash, wherever you may have, just make sure it makes sense for the products to work together. All right. Next. Okay, this is what you're going to want to do next. Before you launch, okay, while you're determining your products, okay, get your products and then give those products to a minimum of 5 to 10 people. Each person needs to get each product because you want people to test your products and you want to get feedback so that you can have that as social proof. This is something I did right. If there's one thing I did right, I have social proof when I launched. And that helped me build trust with my audience because they knew like, oh, such and such already tried this and they had these results. They were happy with this, so maybe it'll work for me too. That is one thing that I actually did right. But it is going to cost you a little bit when you're starting a business. There's a lot of things that you're going to have to pay for that you may not see a return that day, but it will pay off if you do it right. Make sure you give that product to a minimum of 5 to 10 people so you can get their honest feedback, because you may find that a product that you want to launch, people don't even like. And so why would you launch that product? You need to make sure that people like the product, and that the product works for people, and not just one person, not just yourself, but a multitude of people. So give that product to as many people that you can, and get honest feedback, and then you're going to keep that honest feedback so that you can upload it to your website, so that you can post it to your social media, so that you can include it in your emails that you're going to send out. You want to keep that for social proof, so people already trust you. All right, so that's the third tip. The other tip is you want to build a brand. And when I say brand, I don't mean like just get a logo from somebody, get a couple of colors that you're going to stick to. Make sure you have a certain aesthetic. Like visually, that's okay. Yes, you need a brand, and you need it to be able to attract your target audience. Okay. That's like basic. But when you get deeper and deeper into branding, you may want to do your own research on this so you're really hitting all the points. But who is your brand as a person? Okay. When you think of your brand, you want to think of like literally as a person. Like, how does your brand talk? How does it make people feel? What's it about? What experience are you going to give people from coming across your brand, whether they shop with you or not? What's that experience going to look like? So really dig deep into not just what your brand's going to look like on the outside, like when people first see it, but how is it going to make people feel once they interact with your brand? So when they see your social media, when they get an email from you, when they receive a package from you, when they communicate with you as an owner, when they have a problem, what is that experience going to look like? How is your brand going to portray itself? I don't want to get too deep and overwhelm y'all, but essentially focus on what's it going to look like, but more importantly, how's it going to make people feel? What type of this is the other thing, it just came to me. How are you going to sound, right? So not only like how are you going to look and make people feel, but like how are you going to sound? I think a lot of times as new businesses, like you want to make sure you're doing it right, and you're saying it right, and you're being grammatically correct, but you don't have to be if you don't want to be, right? You don't a lot of times, like my communication with my customers is very down to earth. Yes, I'm professional, but like I'm communicating to them in a way of like me just talking to them, not talking at them, but just talking to them in a very down to earth way. um are you going to have any like special term for your customers? A lot of brands do that. I personally do not, but I think it's really cute if you can. But yeah, what is your messaging gonna look like in terms of like your communication to your audience? All right, so think about that too. So the fourth tip is build a brand. That's going to be very, very important for the foundation of your business. You have to establish a brand that is attractive to people, but also connects with people. All right. And that brings me to my last tip, my fifth tip: build a community. And so you build a community by connecting with people. Okay. So that's why it's so important to have your foundation of your brand, so that it makes it easier when people come across your social media post, or however they get on your email list. Whenever they see you, they feel a connection to you. And then those are the people that you're going to want to continue to build a relationship with, and build that community with. Everyone is not going to be connected to your brand, and that's okay. That's all right. The purpose of creating a brand is to attract the right people. And the people that's not attracted to your brand, that's not your target audience, and that's fine. We don't need everyone to come into our community. We only need the right people that our brand is for, that we created our products for, to be in our community. All right, so that's going to be very, very important in starting your skincare business. So just to recap, don't rush. Okay, don't rush, but also don't make this an everlasting thing to where you end up never launching. All right, Start with 1 to 3 products. Make sure all those products work together, and also make sure that it is in your budget, because there's a lot of other things that go into starting a business other than just your products. All right. So if you have a very small budget, maybe you just need to start with 1 product, and that'll be fine. That'll be just fine. But don't overdo yourself and try to launch with a whole bunch of products and then you don't have any money for anything else. All right. So start with just a few products. Collect your reviews. So you're going to send those products out, whether you got to hand them to people or ship them to people, whatever you got to do, make sure you get it into as many hands as possible. You do not have to give them a huge sample, but give them a decent amount so that they can actually give you a review, maybe even use it a couple of times. But what I'm saying is you don't have to give them like a full size, because I know that can get expensive, especially if you're sending it to a lot of people. But the point is you need reviews, so try to get it to as many people as possible. All right. 4th tip was build a brand. This is going to be essential in growing your business. A lot of businesses are not successful because they do not have a clear brand, and because they do not have a clear brand, people are not clear about them. So that is going to be very key in starting a business. All right. And then lastly, focus on community building. All right. So that goes right into connecting with your audience, because you need people to come into your community before you launch your business. Okay. I'm going to talk more about that in another video, or 5 things to do before launching. All right. So stay tuned for that video. I'll be uploading that as well. And as always, if y'all have any questions, let me know. If y'all are interested in starting a skincare business and you really just don't know what to do, I do have a playbook, how to start a skincare business playbook. It goes over in-depth, branding. It goes over marketing, even email marketing. It also goes over pricing, product selection. It gives you a launch strategy. So definitely check that out. If you are starting from square one and you have no idea what to do, definitely check that out. But I hope this was helpful, and I will see y'all in the next video.